Walk with me for a few minutes. So I caught an article last week that was trending on LinkedIn. For those of you on LinkedIn, let's make sure we're connected. And the topic was all around how 2020 is being projected as the year of the career pivot. Meaning there's so many people that are finding themselves having to change their work, change their job, change their entire career trajectory because of the changing environment, obviously, we're in this year. How many of you know people around you right now that have already changed lanes when it comes to what they do for work, or right now are contemplating making a change or maybe need to make a change? I think a lot of us can relate. It's definitely a very relevant current conversation. I'm going to take it a step further. I don't think 2020 is just a year of a career pivot. I think this, when we look back on this time period, is going to be a year where we see the rise of the entrepreneur. The rise of the entrepreneur. And what I mean by that is I think more people are going to be making the leap into the world of entrepreneurship maybe than ever before. And I think the world is going to rely on more current and new entrepreneurs to step up, to solve problems, to think creatively, to create change, to make an impact. And I say that not just because of what I'm seeing around my social circles and peer groups. I'm saying that because we are in a dynamic, changing time. And when we are in a dynamic, changing time, we need new thinking. We need fresh perspective. We need different ideas. We need novel approaches. And in my experience, if you look at who brings that type of perspective, it's the entrepreneur. So I want to have a conversation today with all of you who are entrepreneurs out there, and a conversation with all of you maybe that are thinking right now of making the leap, like is now the time, like you want to take this step into entrepreneurship or solopreneurship, or maybe starting your first side gig or side hustle, but moving in this direction, because I do think 2020 is going to be the rise of the entrepreneur. And there's certain shifts, mind shifts, that I believe can help everyone looking to make that leap for the first time or elevate that game during this time. And I want to talk about those entrepreneur shifts, so to speak. Before we dive into 5 thoughts that I have on how to make a shift to becoming an entrepreneur or elevating right now your game in the space, I want to know who's out there. You know, I'm going to ask who's walking by my side here this morning. Don't be shy. Don't stay behind the screen. If you're back walking again, I love you. I appreciate you. I value our time together. Say hello, say hi, how we doing, how we feeling. Tell me something new and exciting. I do care. I recognize the names that are reoccurring. If you are new to the tribe, new to the squad, welcome. Introduce yourself, where you're from, and we try to walk together here, typically Monday mornings around the same time, live. Doesn't matter where you are, doesn't matter what time zone you're in. We come together to share some inspired thoughts around relevant conversation, and it's not a monologue from me to you, it's a conversation from us to each other, and you can participate by contributing in the comments, ideas, feedback, different ways of thinking. We all appreciate that. I read every comment, as do many of the people that are walking alongside of us this morning. So please introduce yourself and collaborate in the conversation. Let's talk about this concept of the rise of entrepreneurs and entrepreneur shifts, mind shifts, that I think will help. Now, I think a lot of you who are watching this, you guys know my story. I've been an entrepreneur now coming up on 21 years. It's crazy. Aging myself. Took the leap at 19 years old. Never looked back. I was having dinner with a friend last night out here in Malibu, and the conversation came up because the individuals we were sitting at dinner with were talking about making a leap, doing something different, becoming an entrepreneur. And my friend's like, Blake, have you ever even had a boss? Have you ever had a job? I thought back, I'm like, well, when I was in high school, I was a pool lifeguard for a couple summers. But I guess outside of that, that's the only typical quote unquote job I've ever had. I've spent my entire adult life as a entrepreneur. And in that time, I've had some peaks, I've had some valleys, I've had some massive wins by most people's definition. I've had some crazy epic fails, as all entrepreneurs have had. And through the highs and lows, through the entrepreneurial roller coaster, so to speak, I have managed to figure out that there's a certain mindset that I think not only it's a mindset that is distinctly different in entrepreneurs than maybe individuals that are used to the quote unquote traditional path that many of us have been taught. I want to talk about 5 of those because I think they're relevant today as so many people are making the leap either for the first time or stepping up their game during this time. So let's talk about 5 entrepreneur shifts. First shift in my mind that is paramount to being successful in the game of entrepreneurship is we have to make the mental shift from paycheck to purpose. Now, don't get me wrong, you move into entrepreneurship, you start a business, you have an idea, you put energy into it because you do want to make money. Money is a need today, and there's nothing wrong with having income or financial or monetary goals, and there's nothing wrong with getting rewarded for the value that you provide. But in my experience as an entrepreneur, it's got to be more than just the money. You got to transcend from being focused on a paycheck to focus on a purpose. And what I mean by purpose, a higher calling, a bigger picture, a greater impact, an internal passion, something that taps in and makes you feel alive, something that gives you a fire, something that excites you, something that moves you, is paramount to becoming successful as an entrepreneur. And you might say, well, Blake, why is that the case? And I'll state the obvious. The best thing about being an entrepreneur is that you're your own boss. But the worst thing about being an entrepreneur is that you're your own boss. And one of the things we're all seeing in now a shifting environment where so many people are now, forced to work from home, even in traditional structures, is you have to realize you got to find an ability to employ yourself, to keep yourself accountable, to put forth the effort when you quote unquote don't have to put in the time when somebody else isn't looking or holding you accountable. There's nobody there to yell at you or fire at you. You see, an entrepreneur, guys, moves on their own accord, which means, yes, it's good to have financial goals and you need that. And that is a key part of why we go into business, but it's got to be about something more. It's got to be tuning into a purpose that moves you even when you don't feel like it. Because I promise you, as an entrepreneur, no matter whatever direction you're going, there will be days where you don't feel like it. And when you're in that situation where you don't have to, what's going to move you? You got to have a mental shift from paycheck to purpose. Where are you at right now with your current focus? Are you running the motions just for $1? Just for the paycheck to come in? Or is it something that ignites your fire, something you're really passionate about, something that you want to grow, something you believe is making a difference? We got to make that shift. Another distinct shift I think entrepreneurs have to make is we got to shift from this mindset around conformity to creativity. See, here's another kind of obvious distinction. When we work for somebody else, when we're on a traditional path, most of our days are spent being told what to do. Work on this, do this, don't do this, stop working here, start working here, complete this by Friday, turn this in, work with this person. We are dictated to most of our life. And you guys, when we're in a traditional path, by definition, there's a framework or a supposed to, right, that we're supposed to follow. Lines to stay in, a box, right, to stay within. And that works. That structure is needed in certain environments. But when you leap into the world of entrepreneurship, it's not about conformity. You guys, there's no more rules. There's no more lines. There's not another box. Matter of fact, the exact opposite. The most successful entrepreneurs are the ones that, we got helicopters going over us today. The most successful entrepreneurs are the ones that are able to tap into a creativity to look at things from a different perspective, to bend the rules, to create a new game. And now more than ever, if we're in an environment where everything around us is changing, then why would we think that the old rules would still apply? If we're in an environment where literally the game is changing, we need to change the rules to learn how to play this game. We got to tap into a creativity, think differently in the direction that you're going. Right now, with where you're at, are you running motions? Are you falling into supposed to? Are you doing the same thing you've always done out of habit or routine or familiarity? Or are you tapping into a natural creativity, looking things from a different way to find a different solution? Because right now that's what's needed. We need to make that shift. Where are you in shifting from a conformity mindset to a creativity mindset? Here's number 3, a big one and a big distinction. We need to shift from chasing this feeling of security to pursuing opportunity, a shift from security to opportunity. And this one's a funny one because we've been taught that a traditional path, a job working for somebody else, doing something simple is safe and secure. And maybe at one point, decades ago, maybe it was, but is that true today? Is it really, especially in this environment? How many quote unquote massive corporations right now are in turmoil, are in chaos? How many people are being, reduced, furloughed, eliminated, that had quote unquote safe and secure jobs just months ago? You guys see, this feeling of security is no longer a truth if we look at it deeply. So we got to get out of this need to feel safe and secure that's holding us where we're at right now, that's actually creating limits on us with where we're at right now. And we got to pursue opportunity. You guys see, an entrepreneur doesn't chase security, doesn't cling to scarcity. An entrepreneur focuses on opportunity. What is the opportunity in the lane right now? How much upside is there? How much ability to make an impact is there? How much of a market can we go serve? Who can we go help? At the end of the day, how much of a demand can you go fill? What is the opportunity? The opportunity, not just for economics, not just for growth, not just for scale, but where's the opportunity for you to become better, for you to learn, for you to progress, for your skills to grow, for your strength to get tested? Where's the opportunity for you to expand your circle, your peers, your mentors, your relationships? Where's the opportunity that you're in right now? You guys see, we got to stop clinging to security and we got to start looking around for opportunity. And what's interesting, as soon as you make this mental shift, you start to see opportunity all around. Opportunity is always there, all around us. But we got to be in the right frame of mind or the right mindset in order to see it, in order to take advantage of it, in order to grow it. Where are you right now? Are you stuck on security, trying to hold on to what once was, telling yourself that this is safe, telling yourself that you're comfortable? Or are you pursuing opportunity right now? Because we are in a time of massive opportunity, by definition of the ability to make a massive impact on so many people right now that need it. Number 4, we got to make a shift from perfection to progress. You guys, again, this idea of perfection, I think, is a lie. We tell ourselves that we're not able to start until we understand it all, know it all, have all the steps, have it all laid out, have the plan clear. We tell ourselves that if we're going to do it, we're going to give it our all, or we're not going to do it at all. We tell ourselves these stories trying to make ourselves believe that we want it to be right or want it to be perfect, when in reality, we're just lying to ourselves and giving us an excuse not to begin. We need to get out of this idea of perfection and shift to progress. It's all about moving forward, taking a step. Taking a step, whatever that next step is, taking a step forward. You know, some steps you take forward are going to work, and some steps you take forward are not. But either way, whether it works or not, whether you succeed or fail, whether it works as intended or something totally unintended occurs, all of that is progress. And you guys, progress is better than standing still. You'd rather be moving forward, making mistakes, than standing still and having everything perfect. You hear what I said? You'd rather be moving forward, learning, growing, trying, attempting, Whether you're succeeding or even whether you're failing, moving forward, progress is much better than perfection. Stop lying to yourself. You guys, as an entrepreneur, there's so many reasons you'll find not to start if you want to, because you're never going to have it all figured out. You're never going to know the exact plan. And even if you think you have it all figured out, know the exact plan, you're going to find out real quick that your plan will have to change. Sometimes the world's plan and your plan aren't the same, but you got to be committed to focusing forward, taking the step, progressing, figuring out as you go, being adaptable. Where are you at on that mindset? Are you still looking for perfection, telling yourself a lie, and that lie is keeping you where you are? Or are you willing to take a step and focus on progress every single day? If you're an entrepreneur, you got to be taking a step. You got to be moving forward. And the last one I'll give you today, Entrepreneur Shifts. There's plenty more, but one more for today. We got to focus not on where we are today, but where we're going. We got to shift from focusing on what we have in front of us today to what we can have tomorrow. Who we are today to who we are becoming. You guys see, entrepreneurship, it's about focusing forward. It's about a future focus. It's not about what is in front of you today. It's about what is possible tomorrow. And you guys, that belief, that mindset shift is what allows you to have a vision. It's what allows you to have a belief that tomorrow is better than today, that the best days are yet to come, that you're in the middle of creating and building something bigger and better and further. You got to be able to have that vision. It's not about what's behind you. It's irrelevant. Your past never dictates your future. There's a million stories on the planet or more that can tell you that. It's not even about your present state. You may be in the middle of a challenge right now, an issue right now. You may be in the middle of a dark time right now. You might be in the middle of a slump right now. You might be in the middle of uncertainty right now. You might be in the middle of change right now. You might be in the middle of any of that, and none of that matters as long as you have a belief and a vision on where you're going. What does that look like 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, 10 years from today? You guys see, an entrepreneur is always focused forward, and we're able to use a vision of tomorrow to create an urgency in the actions we take today. So stop looking in the rearview mirror and start looking out the window. How far can you see? So there's 5 thoughts, 5 entrepreneur shifts, so to speak, that are a different mind game to succeed in this world of entrepreneurship. I wanted to share those with you. Hey, what one resonates the most with you? What one do you need to work on the most right now? Give me some feedback below. Would love to hear which one is most valuable, which is the largest realization. What are some other entrepreneur shifts that maybe you've had to go through that you want to share with others? Drop them in the feedback below. Would love all the commentary. But guys, make no mistake about it, we're in a time of change, and a time of change is a time of opportunity, and a time of opportunity to seize it is not about doing what you've always done or thinking the way you've always thought. It's about doing what hasn't been done, about thinking in a different way. I think 2020 is not just the year of a career pivot. I think 2020 is a year of the rise of entrepreneurs at every single level, to come and look at things from a different perspective, a fresh set of eyes, a creative lens, back it with some passion and some action to make a difference in people's lives and make an impact. And not only is that a huge opportunity for you right here, right now, to do what you're meant to do, to become who you're meant to be, but in you making that decision, it's a huge opportunity for the rest of the world to get the values and gifts you can provide, and for all of us to make a change and make a difference. Because there are people right now that really need it. Guys, love ya. Hope you enjoyed our conversation today. Until the next time we walk together, look forward to reading all of your comments. Stay safe, stay sane, stay healthy. And hey, if you haven't made the leap yet, maybe now's the time. Jump in. Entrepreneurship, anybody can do it. You have something to give. Make the leap. And for those of you guys that are already in this lane with me, now's the time to rise. Let's make an impact. Take care, everybody.